What starts as a simple mailbox hit spirals into a masterclass on probable cause, police entry, and how quickly bad decisions snowball in court.
Failure to give information upon striking a highway fixture. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. Okay.
Yes, Judge. On December 28, 2024, the officer was dispatched to apartments in Harris County, Texas, in regard to a single vehicle accident that hit the mailbox of a residence. The officer observed the defendant's motor vehicle with heavy front end damage, but did not locate any driver or occupants inside the vehicle. During an inventory, the officer located the defendant's photo ID and Texas utility bill that came back to the defendant's name and address, approximately 1.4 miles from the accident. The registered owner of the mailbox came back to the defendant of the utility bill and his address. The officer went to the defendant's residence, noticed the garage door open and garage interior to the residence wide open. The officer made contact at the residence, wanted to make sure the motor vehicle was not stolen and wanted to make sure the owner of the vehicle was okay. The officer went inside the residence after knocking and announcing his presence several times under the community caretaking doctrine, and the officer made contact with the defendant asleep in the living room. The defendant woke up in
Whoa.
Yes, Judge. It was because they had
Whoa.
Yes, the vehicle was damaged and he wanted to make sure the driver was okay. So he announced himself and went into the residence because the door was wide open.
Wow.
And then it was after that he saw the defendant asleep in the living room, and the defendant woke up and immediately said the car accident, that he did not cause any injuries or any trouble, and that he was driving his motor vehicle 2 to 3 hours prior, and that he was on his way to drop it off at a mechanic when his vehicle was hit. The defendant called the insurance company, and the defendant walked home because no one arrived on scene, and the defendant was going to pick up his motor vehicle in the morning. And the officer made contact with the complainant, who stated she heard a loud bang and observed damages, approximately $1,025.
So are you telling me that he did stay though?
No, what happened, Your Honor, is that he struck the mailbox at the apartment, and the defendant said that he called his insurance. No one came to the scene, so he walked home. And the officer, when he arrived, saw the empty.
Did he make an attempt to make a phone call at the scene to anyone?
All he said is that he called the insurance company. That's the only person that he had stated he called. And then after that, he walked home because no one arrived on scene. And then that's when the officer arrived and saw his empty vehicle damaged. And then he found a utility bill and an ID.
I have so many questions. Let's do this. I'm going to appoint you a lawyer, or you have a lawyer, right? Let's do this. I'm going to hold off on finding probable cause at the moment. Let me wait for your lawyer to get here. We'll revisit PC and here momentarily. Just go ahead and take a seat for me if you don't mind in the jury box. Huh? Let's wait for your lawyer to get here, and then we'll go forward. Go for it. Okay. Ball's in your court.
Your Honor, Mr. Biagas, when he climbed to the mailbox pole, he didn't stop. He got out of the car. There's no one to talk to. And so from there, he went to his residence, Your Honor. But, it's not a case where he didn't identify himself or anything. And then we don't know what the restitution amount is going to be for the mailbox.
My concern was that according to the statute, right, it says that you're supposed to, I don't even know.
Take reasonable steps to locate and notify the owner or person in charge of the property of the collision.
What time? Was this the middle of the night?
$1:50 in the morning. I don't think it'd be reasonable to knock on anyone's door. I don't think anyone would open it.
I mean, reasonable steps. You know where the person lives. You hit their mailbox. It would be pretty easy to walk up and knock on the door.
Is that reasonable? I mean, if you go up to someone's door at 2 a.m. and you start knocking on the door, are you going to scare the
Probably, Judge, but I would want to know if it were my mailbox and somebody ran their car into it.
Would you open the door and go out?
I would look through the peephole and I'd see, and
I
then
guess
I would see a
there
crashed
are other measures I guess you could take theoretically.
Do something.
Right.
I guess leave.
Right.
Maybe leave a note on the door.
Okay. All right. Mr. Biagas, come up. I mean, reasonable measures, right? And I guess that would. Have you run his license, see if he has a valid Texas driver license?
It's an out-of-state Florida license that appears valid in our system.
Okay. Mr. Biagas, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you not to drive any vehicle unless you have car insurance in your name. Do you understand? If I find that you're driving without a license and or liability insurance in your name, it's not going to go well for you. Do you understand? Okay. You've got a lawyer. Listen to your lawyer. He'll take care of you. I will waive your appearance so you don't have to waste your time coming to court, but you have to stay in touch with Mr. Famine. He'll tell you when you have to come back to court. If he tells me he can't get a hold of you or you pick up a new case, I'm going to revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. You understand? Okay, guys. Any conditions you think?
I'm okay with your conditions, Judge. Just no driving without
Yeah,
insurance.
just
Law
be
violation.
careful out there, okay?
He does have insurance. Can you rip the CW and
Yes.
then we can settle it?
You did have insurance,
Yes, sir.
hopefully?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, wonderful. Great. Okay, all right, man. Take care. Have fun. You picked up a new case, Miss Simmons.
Simmons are
Irvin, we're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You now stand charged with the offense of criminal trespass. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine.
Yes, Judge. The officer was dispatched to a club in Harris County, Texas, in response to a disturbance. The complainant, an employee of the club, told officers that she had asked the defendant to leave, and the defendant refused. The defendant had been trespassed by another officer the day prior, and the complainant stated the defendant continues to return to the location.
This is where things get legally tricky. The officer enters the home under the community caretaking doctrine, which allows police to check on safety, but only if it's truly about welfare, not investigation.
During the incident, when the complainant told the defendant to leave, the defendant stated, "Leave me alone or I will hit you in the head." The defendant told officers that everyone at the location was trespassing and that she should have been given a pink paper in order to be trespassed.
Okay, ma'am, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. You've picked up a new case. The only thing I asked you to do was not pick up a new case, and now you've done it. So what happens now? Corey?
Judge, I'm going to ask for you to allow her to remain on bond. The state hasn't filed, if that's what you're getting at. The state hasn't, the state hasn't filed a motion to revoke bond. I'm not prepared for it. If they have, ask for time for a hearing to be set, so we can, have a hearing based on evidence. She hasn't violated the bond conditions, from the previous case as far as they relate to going to the
But she
housing authority.
has, though. One of the conditions is behave yourself, give no facts or rise to probable cause so that you violate any new laws. She's now picked up a new case.
What it is related to your very specific orders about her not to go back to the address where her apartment was or the Houston Housing Authority address. She's complied with those terms.
But if I let her go now, that's enabling this behavior and telling her it's okay.
Well, Judge, I think it would be punitive if you put her in jail as opposed. Well, that's not the purpose of bond, right? It's community safety and the community.
She's threatening people allegedly there to beat them in the head. She won't leave.
That's hearsay. Let me do the talking.
Taking you into custody, man.
Judge, that's hearsay. I think we're entitled to a hearing.
Yes, I'll give you a hearing. Sure. Whatever you want.
my arm is broke.
I don't know how else to, she's gonna do whatever she wants to do. How am I supposed to handle it?
I'm not a threat to the community, so I'm not understanding, and as I said, that is hearsay. Is there any way, can you subpoena the cameras? Because I didn't threat anybody, and there is also multiple witnesses that was there as well.
Sure. So that's my job. That's not the judge's job, and I'll do that just like I've done for the previous case.
So,
Judge, can we allow her to remain on bond until we have an actual hearing following the rules?
I haven't been around the.
Following the rules of evidence for bond revocations.
Here's what we'll do, Corey. What I'm gonna do is I'm sending you for a drug and alcohol test now. If you fail to take the test, if you fail to do what you're supposed to do, I am gonna revoke your bond and put you in jail. I'm now putting a GPS monitor on you and I'm giving you a curfew of 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. Do you understand?
Okay, 1 second. I'm homeless because they have refused to let me back into my apartment.
I'm not gonna talk to you. This is not a negotiation.
No, I'm
It's
not.
either you follow the conditions of bond or I'm gonna revoke it and put you in jail.
Okay.
This is better
So
than being in
whatever
jail,
you want.
unless you want to be in jail.
Your lawyer's asking me not to put you in jail now.
Well, how long
You
will I be in
picked
jail?
the case.
Until November the 22nd.
No, I'm sending you for a drug and alcohol test now. We are going to reset this case until Monday.
It's the-
You were to come back Monday so we can address it. In the
I
interim,
did consume alcohol, oh, well, not anytime soon, so that's fine.
I want you to listen. I'm going to put a GPS monitor on you, and I'm giving you a curfew of 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. Do you understand?
Where is my curfew supposed to be from is the question. Because if I'm currently homeless and I am sleeping on the city streets, residing, because they refuse to let me back into my apartment, where,
Know what you're doing.
where is that supposed to be at?
That's what these conditions I'm giving you, ma'am.
It'll be within an exclusion zone. We do GPS within exclusion zones. So
Sure.
Have a permanent
Oh, okay.
address in.
But I don't. I'm ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. And I'm going to randomly test you. But I'm saying you now for a test, you're to come back Monday. Do you understand?
That's fine.
Okay. I'm giving you a monitor on your ankle. I don't want you going to any clubs, bars, or anything of this nature. Do you understand?
That's fine.
Thank you, Judge.
See you Monday.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sending her now for a test. I want to know what, if anything,
Where do I go to take this test?
she'll tell you.
Curfew's 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. Okay, so if she's homeless, we need a home base for the GPS to observe the.
That's what I was trying to say.
She's got to live in somewhere. Got to be
I
living.
don't have friends or family or nothing, so that's what I'm saying.
You put your head somewhere down at night.
Yeah, on the city streets.
We'll get an address for it. Thank you, Judge. It's better than jail.
Yeah, it's not gonna be examples either.
Let me express my extreme disappointment with you. You've now picked up a new case. Is it on docket today or no?
It is, Judge. We placed it.
Here's the real question. At 2 a.m., what counts as reasonable steps? Knock on the door and risk getting shot, or leave a note and walk away? What would you do? The judge threads the needle. Probable cause found, but conditions imposed instead of jail. Warning issued, message sent. Case 1 ends, and then the courtroom energy shifts fast.
On after we spoke.
Thank you. Mr. Foster, you now stand charged with the offense of assault. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. For some reason, I don't see it.
12, Your Honor, it's under Smith.
Well, Judge.
Tristan Smith, I'm sorry. I called you Foster, I meant Smith.
The new ADI was a 2B, so this is a longer on the new case, the new charge. The previous one, which is the AFM, he has 2 open misdemeanors right now.
Right, so he initially had the open assault of a family member.
Yes. and
As
that's
of
on docket.
December 19th, he's now picked up a new assault.
Yes.
All right, let's do probable cause
On the new assault.
on the new one.
Yes, Judge. On October 29th, 2024, an officer was assigned to investigate an assault that occurred on the 18th of October at a residence in Harris County, Texas. The officer reviewed video footage of the assault that showed the first complainant and the defendant engage each other in a physical fight until another female assisted the defendant by punching the complainant and grabbing the complainant by her hair. The female swung the first complainant to the ground by her hair, causing pieces of her hair to be ripped off while the defendant punched the first complainant multiple times in the face. As the first complainant was on the ground, the defendant stomped once on the back of the first complainant's head, and the officer observed the first complainant with injuries based on photos. The first complainant told officers that on the day of the offense, the defendant told her that he was going to assault her once she exited her vehicle, and a friend of hers that was inside the vehicle recorded the fight. The defendant and the first complainant used to be friends, and the defendant used to live with the first complainant at her residence until the defendant was kicked out.
Judge, if I can, just utilizing the state's information that they provided, and I didn't hear the prosecutor read this part, but at some point, the officer interviewed the complaining witness in the new assault. Based on what she told him is that she had heard that Mr. Smith was going to attack her. And if you just read in the DIMS, she exited her vehicle to engage in a physical fight with Mr. Smith to defend herself from him. When I talked to Tristan about this last week, he told me all about it. He said, I remember this because it is a 2B. He hadn't heard nothing, any follow-up on it. This young lady got out of her car and attacked him as he was walking down the street. It says it right here. MB exited her vehicle to engage in a physical fight with Mr. Smith to defend herself from him. She's in a car where she could have easily seen him and kept driving. No, she got out of her car and attacked him, exactly like he said. And while he was defending himself against her, another individual, another female, came to assist him in this fight because he was attacked and blindsided. This is exactly what the complaining witness in this case told the police happened, except she said that, well, I heard that he was going to attack me, so I jumped out my car and attacked him first. That's not an assault.
I don't know. All I know is that the facts are pretty egregious. And I mean, he could have taken off, didn't have to sit there and didn't have to engage. He could have, you're on bond for a criminal case. So stop. I'm not asking you to say anything. You, in the correct mindset, I have an open assault. It's probably a pretty good idea for me to go away and not do anything here.
And if he had that time to reflect in that instance, then perhaps he should have done that. But he's walking down the street and this girl jumps out the car to engage him in a physical fight, like she told police that she did, to defend herself from him. He doesn't have time to sit and reflect, oh, I got a case and all that.
He could have run away. He could have gone. He could do something else. I don't know.
Being attacked, Judge, I mean, you got to do something.
Look, I get that there's always two sides to the story. But I mean, I'm going to find there's probable cause now.
I understand.
If you develop something later, if you see something on video, if you show something that she's the initial aggressor, come back and we can talk.
She said it. She told the officer.
I don't know that for sure. I mean, it just,
Let's say in self-defense.
Yeah, we have in self-defense, and then we have furthermore that once the female was assisting the defendant, that the defendant continued to assault the complainant, even stopping the complainant on the head.
You got to stop her if she's attacking him.
This is the bond dilemma judges hate. Release someone and risk public safety, or jail them and be accused of punishment before trial. There is no clean answer here. 3 defendants, 3 warnings, 1 courtroom pattern. If you're already on bond, the court expects restraint, not excuses. Ignore that, and the system tightens fast.
Well, Judge, she was down on the ground. The complainant
Yes, Judge.
was down on the ground and the defendant stomped on her face.
I'm finding that there's probable cause. You picked up a new case.
And we'll deal with that, Judge. But the biggest issue, of course, is the fact that he did pick up a new case, albeit he didn't ask for it. I mean, he's walking down the street. And his situation being one that's extraordinary, one that I haven't seen much this year, dealing with indigent defendants, being of his age, which is a high school student, as we've talked about before, pending graduation with an acceptance to a great school. This is a very tenuous time for him. You've already ordered him to be drug tested before and all of that. So we're working through those things. The last thing that, and I know we have to consider the complainant witness in the community and all of that. I understand that. But I'm advocating for Mr. Smith.
I get it.
Mr. Smith has a final on Monday that he must take. If he does not take this final, and he's again in high school, then he may not graduate. If he doesn't graduate, then we can kiss Baylor goodbye. It's not likely to happen for him in light of all of the challenges that he's dealing with. He doesn't have his mother to help him. His grandmother, we know she's a complaining witness. He can't even go around the house. He doesn't have any help right now. He's living with a friend and walked here from Atascocita this morning, which took him 9 hours. I mean, this situation it's extremely difficult, Judge. So my ask is that we do something, and it could be amend bond conditions, but to keep him on bond so that he can take his test, do what he needs to do to finish school, and hopefully we can resolve these issues. I've looked at the evidence that the state has submitted for the new case. There's clearly something happened, clearly. I mean, and I would see the evidence shows that. But if he's walking down the street and this girl, per her own admission, jumps out her car to engage into a physical altercation with him to defend herself, that doesn't make sense. And that's not really fair to him. Someone that's on bond, and everybody knows he's on bond because she said, I knew him. We used to be friends.
He could have walked or run away, gone to a store, called the police. There were a multitude of other options you could have done. You know what's at stake here, yet you pick up another case where you allegedly stomp on someone's head. And you want me to let you go? I understand that you have school. I don't know that you have a final on Monday. Am I supposed to take your word for it? No. All I know is that you are a danger to my community. You have one assault. You have had violations on bond while you're on that assault, and now you've picked up another assault. You are a danger to my community. And there's only one thing that I need to do, and that's to put you in jail because you refuse to comply with bond conditions. And I've given you over and over. I appreciate your tenacity, and I love that you're defending zealously, but I can't let him go. It would be enabling this behavior and telling him it's okay for you to do what you're doing. And it's not. It's not okay to sit there and stomp on someone's head.
And Judge, we anticipated that possibility. I'd ask in the alternative that you consider a very low bond, as my client has approximately $100 to his name, being a child, in my mind, a person that hasn't even graduated from high school.
State of Texas, what do you think?
Judge, we would be opposed to that. I mean, given the egregiousness of these facts, we believe the defendant is a.
I won't do the normal. What I normally do is I set bonds at 5,001 when you pick up a new case. I'm willing to go down. I'm not going to give them $100 bond because that's what we do on new cases.
I'd ask
And I
for,
think that that's a little.
so we're going to revoke the previous bond, that was a personal
I will
bond.
only touch the old case.
And so we'd ask that, well, I didn't anticipate that you set a personal bond on the new case. So I guess my request would be $500 bonds.
Oh.